It'll be Los Angeles off the tip. All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. So on the floor for Utah. Pairing up in the backcourt, Trey Burke and Alec Burks. Hayward out there with Enes Kanter. And it's Favors in at the 5 down low.
DeAndre Jordan has always had a knack for the incredible, and it usually manifests itself in his dunks or blocks. But last year he committed himself more on the defensive end, and it really made a difference for him.
The Jazz on offense, and this is the first season matchup for them against this Clippers team.
They had that play ready to go. Well done on the inbound.
The Los Angeles Clippers coming to this one after the win against the Lakers in Los Angeles.
Well, that one was a very physical game, and it played right into their hands. You know, a lot of their points came at the foul line, Clark.
Yeah, and it also led to a lot of foul trouble for some of the key guys they were up against. So don't forget about that part of it either.
4 on the clock. For 3. Shot is no good. And Utah the other way now. They come into this one following the loss to the Mavericks.
I didn't like the defensive game plan they had going into that one. It just seemed out of whack. The matchups were wrong, and they didn't bring the energy necessary either.
You know, it was befuddling to me why they stuck with that, Steve. I mean, they dug themselves a hole, and then they didn't make the changes they should have to get out of it. Didn't make any good adjustments there.
And that one's good.
Nice soft touch to drop that one in.
Jazz have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. First quarter of play with about a minute and a half gone. Burke the pass to Favors. And Burke has it in the corner. Paul with the steal. Pass to Redick. Back to Paul. Pass to Redick. 5 on the clock. Sees the alley-oop and Favors with the block. It's 2 on 1. Pushing it up. Oh, tried to dunk it home, but drew the foul, and it'll go to the line.
You gotta like the way he took it strong there, attacking the rack.
And the defense fouling him there to prevent the dunk.
Alec Burks, really known as a slasher coming into the NBA out of Colorado. His outside shooting was questioned, but he's put in the work, and he's become a solid three-point shooter. Still young, he's only going to get better and better.
And he sinks the second. And Burke at 6'6", good quickness and ball handling ability, Clark, and he can play points in a pinch.
And you know, Kevin, the Jazz asked him to play there at times in the past. Combo guard skills with legit shooting guard size. That's a lethal package.
Now here's Barnes. And it's blocked. And here in the first, approaching 3 minutes played. Here's Burks. Gets an open look and hits.
Assisted by Derek Favors.
Clippers trail by 3. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going.
And let's check out some numbers here for Chris Paul. Great year for him last year. He averaged about 19 points per game, 10 assists, and almost 2.5 steals. And it's the kind of run we've seen from him so many times in the past.
But no matter how many times we do see him have a stretch like this, Steve, it still leaves us shaking our heads in amazement and admiration.
Now about 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. Kicks it to Kanter. Shot clock at 6. The shot by Hayward, wide open. Hits the three-point bomb. Hayward's got 5.
A good open look, and he splashes home the 3.
Clippers have gone just 1 for 5 from the field to start the quarter.
For years, the Jazz have been one of those teams that always finish near the top in team fouls, but last year they kind of shook that stigma.
Jazz leading by 6. Fires the 3. Barnes grabs the miss. Now here's Redick. Burke covering. Paul outside. 6 to shoot. Los Angeles needs to get off a shot here, but they get it back. And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation. Here is the 2K leaderboard with last season's top passing teams. The Clippers third.
Yeah, wonderful passing team, and it was the kind of basketball that fans love to watch. Very unselfish.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Jazz. DeAndre Jordan leading the NBA last season in 3 separate categories, Steve. Rebounding, slam dunks, and field goal percentage.
Yeah, those last two are related, of course. You look at his shot chart, and it's basically a green dot right around the basket. Pretty much all of his attempts coming right at the rim, mostly on putbacks or lobs. Yeah, that's smart basketball. You foul, and you send a very poor free throw shooter to the line.
Yeah, I think that's just smart. I mean, especially the way he's been throwing it down. Make him earn it at the stripe. And for Jordan, last season with Doc Rivers coming in as coach, his role was clearly defined, laid out in crystal clear fashion. Defense and rebound. But Rivers put high expectations within that role, expecting him to contend for Defensive Player of the Year.
Now here is Douglas Roberts. The pass to Farmar. Douglas Roberts with the ball. He's guarded by Booker. Jazz leading by 6. 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Here's Exum. Rebound by the Clippers. Now Farmar. He feeds it to Crawford to end the drought. And he connects with the jumper. Crawford's got his first points of the night.
Beautiful feed off the bounce to his teammate there. Nicely done.
Novak with the 3. No good on the buzzer beater. There's the buzzer, and not much scoring at all through the first quarter of play. It's the Jazz. And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Jazz.
Well, Kevin, in the first half of play, they're really closing out aggressively, blocking shots, a key indicator of their activity defensively.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnovers.
Hedo Turkoglu out there with Spencer Hawes. Then it's Crawford. Then it's CDR. And it's Farmar in at the point guard position. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Clippers. Booker. Hedo Turkoglu with the rebound. Clippers trail by 4. Crawford outside. And Turkoglu with the basket on the assist by Crawford. Turkoglu's got the second quarter going with the first basket of the period for the Clippers. There's the screen. Exum kicks to Booker. Novak, that's for 2. Gets the jumper from the corner to fall. And we're starting the second quarter, about a minute gone. Crawford outside. Crawford left side. Farmar. Offline with his 3. Jazz leading by 4. And a chance here to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Well, gentlemen, if you ask Coach Doc Rivers about DeAndre Jordan, he's going to say something along the lines of, he can single-handedly change a game with his defense. I genuinely see traits of Bill Russell. Jordan said, to be compared with somebody like that, I take it to heart. Defense is my first, second, and third priority. I know that Doc instilled that in me. Kevin?
There's greatness and respect to be had. Doing the dirty work, Doris. Thank you. A platoon swap here for the Clippers. So Utah going with an almost entirely new group here. Derek Favors checked in for Trevor Booker. Hayward comes in for Jeremy Evans. Burks, he's checked in for Hood. And Trey Burke subbed in for Exum. You know, for a player whose star shines as brightly as Blake Griffin, Steve, it seems there are a lot of naysayers regarding his game, although I think you and I would agree he expanded his game, certainly this past year.
Well, I can tell you this. I am not one of those naysayers because I think Blake Griffin was the 3rd best player in the NBA last year. The offensive expansion to his game, the post-game, the passing, the ball handling in transition. I mean, he is an amazing player, and he has gotten better and better every year.
Cantor, he's checked in for Utah. Burke kicks to Cantor. And And that one is stuffed right through. Well, now they're just going to town on it.
Yeah, you'd think these defenders would have done a little more to put a stop to that stuff, Kevin, but so far, no go.
Well, a phenomenal aerial assault there, fellas.
And here is Los Angeles now after the basket by Utah. Paul kicks to Griffin. Count that one.
He's such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Jazz leading by 8. And here is Burke. He's coming off a 16-point game against Dallas.
You know what was great, too, Kevin, was the way he balanced getting his own shots and making plays for others.
Now here's Hayward. From 10 feet out. No good off the front iron. Outside Griffin. Ball outside. Back to Griffin. An easy 2 points on the layup. Griffin's got 4 points this quarter.
Got a little room at the rim and laid it in. Great play.
Utah calls timeout.
The Clippers had really good depth at the guard positions, but last season their lack of depth along the front line was a real problem. One they hope has been solved this season.
Now here's Burke. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. And that one's good. And the Jazz lead by 8.
Boy, what a significant turnaround here in the second quarter after only making 40% from the field in the first.
And looking at the Clippers bench, maybe the strongest in the NBA 2 seasons ago.
Well, the Bledsoe trade weakened their bench, but it strengthened their starting lineup. But a winning team in Los Angeles, with a players coach like Doc Rivers, I mean, you knew they'd be able to find some help.
Now here's Redick. He had 15 points last out, and he gets it back. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. Jazz leading by 8. Here's Burke. The shot by Hayward, wide open. The three-pointer is right on target. Hayward's got 10 points.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
Yeah, they're making the right play, they're working together, and they're just looking for the best shot they can every possession.
Jordan the screen. Up off the screen. Throws off the pick and hammers it home.
Boy, they ran a nice play there, Kevin, to set up the easy dunk.
Yeah, he got help from his teammate and ran his man right straight into the pick.
Yep, and that's the offensive player's job. Run him into the screen.
And it was a great pick, too, Clark. I mean, he may have lowered his shoulder a little bit, but he got him pretty clean.
Here's Favors, and misses it off the right side of the rim. 5 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Paul kicks to Barnes. Jordan sets the pick for Barnes. Back to Paul. Just 5 on the clock. To the left wing. From outside the arc. Rebounded by the Jazz. Next matchup, they'll be home against the Suns. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again. And we finish one half of basketball. Jazz lead by 9. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Yes, Kevin, here with Doc Rivers. And, Doc, so far in this game, do you feel like the team is struggling getting good looks?
I don't mind the shots. They're good shots for the most part. I would like extra passes every once in a while. But overall, our shots have been not bad. We got to get stops.
Coach, thanks for the time. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thanks so much, Doris, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back in there for the start of the third quarter after this break. Now the third quarter about to get going.
Looking at the game for Hayward, he's got 10 points, and he's got 2 baskets from out in three-point land.
I'm sure they'd like to get him a few more of those, so look for them to run some screens for him, try to pop him open.
You know, one thing you like when you look at this young Jazz team is the size that's already in place there. Not only size, but good, young, strong players that have some athleticism. And that'll serve you well when you do make your way to the playoffs, because it allows you to play on playoff-type basketball, which is usually more physical and played more in the half court.
Checking out the group for Quinn Snyder to start the second half. Burke's the off guard with Hayward at the 3. Ennis Cantor is out there with Favors, and it's Burke in at the point. Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. Doc Rivers trying to help this Clippers team to the mountaintop. And Chris Paul said, "I've never had a coach that wants to win as bad as I do until Rivers." Rivers said, "I'm just here to try to win. I always tell our players there's no guarantee to it. You have to be willing to get your hearts broken." Gentlemen.
He's getting him to lay it all on the line. Doris, thank you. No good. Great D that time from Jordan. And many of the Jazz players travel to a training center in Santa Barbara, California in the offseason.
They work on their athleticism and explosiveness, and there's been some impressive results. In fact, you look at the athletes in the NBA today, the training methods far more advanced than in the days before.
Now, here's Burke. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Dishes to Hayward. Three-pointer. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. Griffin's got his third rebound on the night. Reddick passes to Barnes, and he lays it straight in. Utah calls timeout. Gordon Hayward with an unusual pattern dating back 6 years, back and forth. Great three-point shooting one season, and then Clark awful the next.
You know, it's a bit puzzling, Kevin. You look at the numbers from 2009 to 2014. Up and down, up and down. Last season, around just 30%. I'm sure it's a coincidence, but it's a pretty rare one, no doubt. And I'm sure Gordon, with his work ethic, is going to try to smooth that good three-point shooting out and sustain it for us.
A delicious dime from Chris Paul there.
Now, here's Burke. They set the pick. Feeds it to Burks. Right block shot. And Favors gets it to go in on the assist by Burks. Favors got 6.
And for Hayward, his role and responsibilities have steadily increased each season, but his scoring efficiency has steadily dropped in the opposite direction. Is he cut out for the role of primary scorer and shot creator? I think that's the question. You know, the numbers to this point raise some doubt.
Catching up on the changes for Los Angeles. Spencer Hawes is checked in for DeAndre Jordan. Douglas Roberts comes in for Matt Barnes. Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for J.J. Redick. And it's Farmall in for Chris Paul. There's Exum. The Clippers getting the bucket. Utah the rebound. 1:53 left to play in the third. Hood kicks to Novak. A 3-ball. Douglas Roberts pulls it in.
And for Hayward, asked to score in isolation much more last season. Definitely a challenge for him. He's a gifted ball handler and passer, really good all-around player. But he's been most effective scoring off the ball, whether cutting to the rim or filling the lane in transition.
Exum with it, and Crawford picks him up defensively. Exum's shot is off.
They've been strong on the boards. There's no disputing that.
That's what the box score says. Still anybody's game, though.
Pass to Farmar. Crawford outside. No one near him. And the shot no good, a bit short.
Major defensive lapse right there. I mean, he's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You've got to stay attached to him. They're lucky he couldn't punish them for it.
Now, here's Exum. Looking for his first basket still in this one. They have a chance to go 2 for 1 here.
Let's see how they play the clock.
Crawford dishes to Douglas Roberts. Crawford against Hayward. Now here is Douglas Roberts. He's guarded closely. from 13, and he gets it to go.
Well, when they desperately needed to get things turned around, they were able to do it and claw their way back in.
And they fed off their defense just as much as their offense in putting this run together.
In the corner, it's Hayward. He kicks it to Exum. There's the dish to Booker. There's the feed to Hayward. Yeah, wow, he nails the buzzer beater.
Just when it looked like the third quarter was over, they go in.
The third quarter comes to a close. It's the Jazz up by 4. We'll be back shortly live from... And a quick look now at the State Farm assist of the game.
Really excellent feed here, and I know we're used to seeing this guy score, but he is no slouch at creating passes and opportunities for his teammates, and he showcases that skill right here on that replay.
Clippers trail by 4. CP3 at point with Redick there in the backcourt. DeAndre Jordan is out there with Hedo Turkoglu, and it's Barnes in at the 3 spot. That's who's out there for the Clippers. Here's Jordan. He dishes it to Turkoglu. Pass to Redick. Just 3 to shoot. Kicks it to Paul, and they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation. Burke with it. They set the pick. Pass to Burks. He feeds it to Hayward. Here's Burke. Gets the three-pointer to fall. Burks got the fourth quarter going with the first basket of the period here for the Jazz. And Los Angeles guys shooting 39% from the floor. At their best. And the dunk by Jordan.
Really hard to decide, guys, which was better. The pass, the catch, or the slam.
Clark, there's no wrong answer to that one, my friend. Sensational alley-oop all the way around.
Agreed. All of the above.
Burke kicks to Cantor. Down low, Burks. Banked in off the glass. And the Jazz lead by 7.
You know, that's a case there, Kevin, of him making a pass to a spot, and then he let his teammate run right into it. Well executed.
Enes Kanter was the 3rd overall pick back in 2011, drafted out of Kentucky, where he actually never played a game there due to ineligibility. But it's a bit of a gamble because of that. I'm not sure he's completely delivered on those lofty expectations yet.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Guys, over that last break, I listened to Doc Rivers address his team. He said, no time to waste, fellas. We've got to pick it up right now if we're going to make a comeback and try to win this thing. Let's go all out. Back to you.
And for Cantor last season, Clark, a big uptick in minutes, but his productivity actually regressed somewhat.
Well, Kevin, the shooting percentages went down, as did his blocks and steals. But remember now, he's only 22 years old, and it's not always a straight line of progression for players. There's always detours before you bounce back up to that next plateau.
Utah calls timeout. And at this point of the game, getting a break here, important for the teams to regroup, and for the players, this is where you have a chance to get rehydrated with Gatorade. Get ready to play strong to finish off the game. Blake Griffin, he's checked in for Hedo Turkoglu. Burke, the pass to Cantor. Shot clock at 6. Dishes to Hayward. Here's Burks. And favors kicks to Burke. And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the fourth. They set the pick. Back to Favors. Knocked loose. And that'll be Utah as it goes out of bounds. Jazz retain possession.
Super defensive play. I mean, if that pass gets through, it's probably 2 points.
And he knew that. He knew if it gets through, it's a score. So that's why he sold out for it and got a hand on it.
Here's Hayward. The pass to Burke. Fourth quarter keeps moving right along. 3 minutes gone so far. Favors in the post. He's against Jordan, and the shot is good. And the Jazz lead by 9.
Well, he's got to get everybody on the same page. I mean, that's the reason for this timeout. And if that happens, I think they can improve and start playing better.
You know, it's a coach's job to always try to be 2 or 3 steps ahead of the opponent and to look for that extra edge if you can. And I think he feels like he might have seen one.
Paul dishes to Jordan. Redick passes to Paul, and Redick kicks to Griffin. And there's a minute 45 left in the fourth quarter. Makes it off the glass. Jazz leading by 7. Now Burke feeds to Burks. Pass to Canner. Out to Hayward. And the Jazz, another 3.
And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
I just love the mentality they've had. If a shot isn't there, they're not forcing anything. They're moving it side to side and working to get a good shot.
A surreal alley-oop that time, partner.
The pass, Clark, the catch, the dunk, all of it perfect.
Precision at its finest.
Yeah, and it all had to be perfect and in precision. That's not nearly as easy as they made it look.
The Jazz working the ball around now. There's a good screen. Clock at 6. The dish now to Burks. From outside, off the mark. For Los Angeles, they've gotten 4 of their 6 shots to fall so far here in the fourth. A pretty nice efficiency there. Paul goes in, out left to the wing. Redick, a good look, and a great assist by Paul as that one goes in.
Great interplay there between those 2 teammates.
Utah has gone 2 or 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. There's 38 seconds left in the game. Burke kicks to Favors. Shot clock at 6. Fades and shoots. And the rebound goes to Griffin.
He's one guy the defense is not afraid to leave open from that range, and for obvious reasons.
Unloads from 13. Almost, but it rolls out. And now they decide to foul intentionally.
That's his first personal foul. First team foul.
15 seconds left in the game. And so they choose to intentionally foul.
Second team foul. Shooting for Utah.
He hits the first one, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And so both free throws are good, and it's an 8-point game. Los Angeles calls timeout. They're trailing by 8. There's 14 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
Well, talk all they want, but I just don't see a way for them to get back into the game here.
You know what? I don't know if there's a 10-point play out there, and that being the case, this one is finite, over.
And here's Exum. And so it's Utah with the win. They came, they saw, they conquered.
Hey, Kevin, to me, any win is a good win.
And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Hi, Kevin. Derek, what were the points of emphasis coming into your preparation for tonight?
No, we just came out and played hard. So that was the whole purpose of practice yesterday. Fix what we did, and importantly on defense, just come out and play harder and just play better.
Derek, thank you. Kevin, coaches love it when practice translates to games.
All right, Doris, thank you. And for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. Now, our Jordan player of the game, Gordon Hayward.